talk about on our last group discussion. It was heated at the end and she wanted to address it.
Yeah. And I believe we were dealing with a matter of Kara asking a very earnest question about how to deal with possible trolling. And that turned into a different conversation and I was really rattled. I don't know if it came across, but I believe it did. I was really rattled. And after, it took me like a good hour to be unrattled. I personally want to apologize specifically to KJ or Kim because I directed it more so at you when you, on hindsight, were just honestly answering the question to the best of your knowledge based off a book you were or are currently reading. Being so reactive, and I was reactive to the messenger. And I even swore, and I'm sorry, first of all, to the whole group if I made anyone uncomfortable, and KJ, because I reacted to you. And after I calmed down, I was like, what the fuck's my problem?
Can I respond?
Yeah.
No.
That's it.
No. Okay.
Everyone sign off.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
So I also thought about it afterwards. First of all,
Yeah.
I fully accept your apology. You can react at me anytime because I love you and I understand that. Like, don't worry. Okay. So fully accepted. I feel like you were feeling protective of Kara because the situation in hand was someone was attacking Kara. So as a sister, I think that you were informed by that. And I also think that clarification about what we were talking about could have helped our conversation better. Because of course, if anyone of any race is personally attacking Kara, then of course she's not beholden to take that abuse. Clarifications that could have and should have been made were made at that time. And so I understood your reaction to be one of protecting your sister, not one of like advocating for whiteness to do whatever.
Tone shaming, like blitz.
Right. Yeah. I will tone police.
Yeah. I immediately opened a Twitter account. No, after I heard more about, digested like the description, and I did my own research on what it is, I was like, oh yeah, I was just reacting.
Well, I think one of the things that's great about this too is, and I think we're showing it now, is that willingness to make mistakes. Leah, you just did a perfect, like you just did it. You just lived it. You just did it. And so I think that—
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Seriously, Leah, thank you.
Welcome, y'all. All right. See you next time.
And we're out.
Book interrupted.
This interruption is brought to you by Strange Things, a self-published children's book written by Anne Amos and illustrated by Leah McBean. Find the digital ebook on Amazon.ca.
All right, so here's my interruption. You might think this is fog, but this is actually dust, sand from the Sahara Desert. And we're just covered in this foggy, dusty haze. That's super dry, and everything's covered in like very thin, fine dusting of like a terracotta sand or something.
Book interrupted.
I do recommend this book because I think that it reflects me at my core. And part of the thing that was most gratifying for me while reading it was seeing my feelings reflected back to me so concisely that it like consolidated them within me. I was like, yes, like it was just like gratifying is the word I want to keep on saying, because reading it was like, it was satisfying, gratifying. I mean, I'm just gonna rhyme about it because it was so good. So one of my favorite parts of the book, which I reread this morning while I was waiting for our thing to start, was The Islands. So The Island is almost about boundaries, I guess. And it really resonates with me because of the simplicity of love and fear. And so I come from a place where those are the really only two things that are behind everything. Could see my mom in her experience with her mother, because I have that same relationship where my mom totally loves me and makes all these decisions in the name of love, or so she thinks. And often it is fear that she's carrying. And I have changed my mind or done things differently because my mom, it passed that fear to me. And anyway, so I just love the idea of like the metaphor, I guess, really. I guess it's Abby's metaphor. Glennon's just retelling it, but like, we're on an island. This is where pure love is, and we only allow love in. And I like that she clarifies, like, it's not that there's anything wrong with the people who are carrying fear. Some of them I really want to come. Who knows better for you or somebody else, even if that somebody else happens to be your mom. And like, that's how you become like an independent person, right? Like the breaking of the parent-child role, like the whole thing.
I think part of what's important that it's right for you. Because at the end of it all, you look back on your life and you say, what are my regrets? And they're always going to be not doing what you thought was right. I mean, really, isn't that what it comes down to? Like,
absolutely.
I should have done this, or I should have not done this, or whatever. And why did I listen to that outside voice? Because you got to live with yourself in the end.
This is you. That's exactly where regret comes from. Exactly, Mare. I think that's...
I was just thinking, like, on that part of the book, I also thought about, comes back to Book Interrupted. I didn't tell, like, my mom, didn't tell a whole bunch of people. Like, obviously I told you guys because I invited you, but I didn't tell people until I was really sure, because I really wanted it. And I didn't want to be influenced out of, this will be a lot of work, and how are you going to do that? And then all the questions that come with it before I had figured out what was it going to look like and what were we going to do. And before I had figured it all out, and I didn't want to have influence I would have regret later from being influenced in a way that I wasn't doing the thing that I really wanted to do. And I really wanted to do this, right?
I think that there's times when some people, have experience in something. I consult books, I consult, if somebody's wise and it's like my grandmother and she's lived it, I don't have to take all her opinions. I don't have to listen to everything she says, but I would like to consult with her. There's something missing, I think, in our culture with this me culture where, I feel like people used to listen to their elders, used to listen to people that are wise and who have lived it. And
right. So yes, ask all the people, get all the wisdom and information if you, like whatever. I don't think she's, I don't think it's one or the other.
But why is Lindsay able to do that? Because Lindsay is really grounded in who she is. Whereas, and I would argue, Leah is the same way. Whereas when I look at Sarah and I, tread carefully when we do open ourselves up to opinions, because we know that we will overvalue the opinions of others. So I don't think it's an invitation for us to close it down. It's check in with yourself. Who are you before you take a step outwards into the world? But I don't think that we should ever cut ourselves off from community.
This is another point I want to make to Kim, is that, like, Sarah, you didn't want to get anybody's opinion, so you wouldn't be influenced. And for me, I like to get a lot of opinions from a lot of different people, and then I'll make my own decision. And I find that some people find that insulting, because they go, why did you even ask for my advice if you're not going to follow it? And right? I get that a lot. And I was like, no, like, I respect your opinion. That's why I asked your opinion. Like, but you didn't do what I thought you should do. And I was like, yeah, but I took it into consideration. You're just one of many opinions that I've taken and then decided what I wanted to do, right? Because there is a lot of wisdom out there, and that's why humans live in groups, because we all can't have the same experience.
And I just really like that clarification, because I think often we do hold other people's judgments or fears or whatever, and it's not for us to have. I think it's it speaks to that.
Yeah, that's a really hard lesson to learn too, for everybody. For me, every day I do that. It's also really hard for me because I take, like, I'm definitely an empath. Like, I take if somebody's angry in front of me, I get angry. If somebody's sad, I start to cry because I feel that energy. So that's a very valid and good point, that of not letting that person into your bubble, or into your, the fear into your bubble, and just letting them, if they're coming from a place of love, to let them in and listen. But if they're coming from a place of fear, to be like, okay, you can say what you want, but I'm not going to let it in.
I agree with KJ, especially that one. I have poor boundaries with only one person in my life, and it's my mother. And I have excellent boundaries with everyone else. So that particular chapter really helped me and made me feel safe, because it's like, oh, someone else is all messy in this area too. And this is not a reflection on how I was parented. I was parented excellently. This is a reflection on just how I formed an attachment with my mom. The problem with, I would recommend this book. My issue is that it does come across very guru on every topic, and but that's not her fault. Who wants to read a book about someone who's like, maybe this is the answer? Like, obviously she's smelling her own fucking farts and she likes what she smells. Like,
well, but also she was on the podcast, right? She was on our X Brew, and that she doesn't want to be a guru, and that
I know, but she does seem a little bit.
So
she
I say, Leah, you're calling it just whether she intentionally.
I like the book.
Not. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if she set out with that plan, like, be famous, write books. And I think it's good, if you're going to do anything, to do it with intention and believe in what you're saying, especially if you're a writer and you're writing borderline a self-help book.
Who of us have learned our final lesson on everything? I don't know. I think there's going to be another memoir, but it is, the tone is kind of a self-help book, but it is a memoir.
Thank you for visiting Book Interrupted's YouTube channel. Please click the button below to subscribe. This way you don't miss any episodes. Also, if you like this particular episode, give us a thumbs up to say that you liked it. Give us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Or share it with your friends and family.
On Book Interrupted.